so happy you're having fun.
It's the best thing in the world.
On today's episode, I get by with a lot of help from my friends. We are demoing the entire bathroom, laying a new subfloor, and roughing in the framing so you guys get an idea of how I'm expanding the bathroom in this trailer tiny home. I do have a playlist for everything available for you linked in the description box and in the pinned comment. So if you want to catch up, it is all there for you. And last week, we actually demoed the bathroom vanity that I made over when I first moved into the house. And I did that to give myself some room to breathe and a blank canvas. That way today we can completely demo out the bathroom, start from scratch, and really start to get an idea of what we would like to do here. This trailer has been here since Sadie can remember. She said that it has been on the property since forever. It was actually made this way, and I have to tell you, it was made so securely because demoing this thing has been a pain in my arms. That is 40, I'm sure. Hence why I'm making an entire episode about it. And it wasn't actually up until I exposed this cast iron pipe, obviously, and is when I realized I have cast iron plumbing. That isn't going to be an issue. It's just more difficult to work with. But at the time, I honestly didn't know that. I was getting excited because I was like, oh, a pipe. What can I do with this? And that's the first thing my mind goes to is I have no idea what you're here for, but you're a really cool type of material. But it's cool to do this episode and show you as I progress in and talk to a couple different people how I learned fairly quickly, oh, no, that is definitely necessary. That is called venting, and you need that for the bathtub, the toilet, and the sink. Something that I did not point out, and I definitely should have the minute I did demo in this trailer, was please test for asbestos. You absolutely should do an asbestos test to make sure that there is none and that you are safe to move forward and have the appropriate PPE. I have to be honest here as well. I obviously am not. I did test. There's not asbestos, and I just wear a mask that is comfortable to my face. I really don't recommend that. I dress up as a great example of exactly how you should handle demolition. I wanted to take a quick second to thank today's sponsor, HelloFresh. You can enjoy variety, simplicity, and ease by making HelloFresh part of your back-to-school routine. They offer a wide variety of quick meal options like 20-minute dinners or oven-ready pizzas, which you can even increase your box size so you can have easy leftovers for kid or adult lunches. I use them as adult lunches for me all the time. HelloFresh recipes, honestly, are so delicious, and it helps me get out of my rut. I mean, I couldn't really be in a rut out here in the desert because there's not much available, so it's nice to have new recipes delivered each week, and I can choose them on their app. But when I was back home in the valley, I just used to eat out all the time and just repetitively eat the same thing over and over and over. Boring. Not only that, but you can save time and stress effortlessly. HelloFresh cuts out stressful meal planning, prepping, so you can enjoy cooking and get dinner on the table in just about 30 minutes or even 20 minutes with their quick and easy options.
And I like to cook as the sun goes down. Oh, you can't even see how gorgeous it is out there right now. Oh, it's like the bird, like I paid the bird to do that. Okay, listen, I got distracted by the sunset. Hold, please.
HelloFresh can help you eat more sustainably. The packaging HelloFresh uses to ship your food is almost entirely made from recyclable and or already recycled content. If you guys are interested in giving HelloFresh a go, I highly suggest heading over to HelloFresh.com and using my code METZ14 to get 14 free meals plus free shipping. Again, you want to head over to HelloFresh.com and use code METZ14 to get 14 free meals plus free shipping.
Now we add the sauce. And obviously, I'm a party of one, so one is my lunch for tomorrow. Which, like, what? I just typically turn these into cold salads the next day for myself. Fun fact.
Thank you so much, HelloFresh, for sponsoring today's episode, and as always, keeping me sustained over here in this desert life of mine. Let's get back into this makeover. If you haven't seen the episodes from about 6 months ago, I ripped up a majority of this flooring. It used to have carpet on it, then there was linoleum tile, and then there was a sheet of underlaminate, and then there was this beat up old flooring that you see beneath. There was a multiple amount of layers above this until getting to this, and then getting this out was so difficult.
So, Rachel, let's just focus on taking out the floor and cleaning up, measuring for cuts, and then the framing should be easy. Of course, more f***ing difficult than I thought. Come on. It's so hot so quickly. Not one channel tells you that. So all the people that aren't honest about trailers, 3 seconds of work absolutely sucks. Fun fact. Time lapse this shit because I'm about to get pissed.
The reason I wanted to show you how frustrating it is in certain parts of this DIY is because that is the reality of this situation. It's really interesting how you can get set back in a project over the simplest things, and I thought I would share that here with you real time throughout this entire process.
So, just demoing this one piece. I said that really weird. Demoing. Probably it's like a 2-foot by 8-foot piece of old plywood. I'm gonna redirect. This is what happens because when you are doing a job, if you are not doing it with the correct tools or like new blades, it's gonna make it harder than it is. So I'm gonna pause, and then tomorrow morning when Home Depot opens, since I live like 40 minutes away to the nearest one, I'll go in and get all new blades and all new things that I need to make this the easiest demo tomorrow. We will lay subflooring, we will seal all the walls, we will take the old frame down where we need to and reframe, and we will also reframe the bathroom because I have an idea. I just need to confirm help tonight to kind of move the plumbing around. I also, fun fact, it is called sacking it. I sacked it on the frame, which I'm pretty sure it's gonna leave a bruise on my hoo-ha tomorrow. But anywho, we're gonna take a breather. We're gonna watch the sunset, play with the dogs, design. I'm gonna sketch out a new layout because I think I have a general idea of how to make this a little bit more space friendly since this is never moving. I will be building a deck around it. There will be a pool. Like, this thing is going nowhere and I own the house. So let me show you actually. It's a mess. I hammered it. I sacked it right there, I'm pretty sure. And I started making my way that way, but I realized what's giving me the most difficulty is my saw blade. So we're gonna revisit tomorrow morning. We're back. It's windy, super windy, so it's actually nice to be indoors, and there's just one hole in the ceiling. Jade's gonna be here in 20 because not only do we have new blades on everything, I went to Home Depot and got a bunch of different, this is just a framing blade on my circular saw. I like the Ryobi one with the laser from like 5 years ago. I can't find a link for it, and also mine's broken, so that's why I'm using my rigid one. Anywho, I have these trio packs of these multi-tool blades. So one comes curved and the other two come like a fat boy and a slender one. I always get the trio. If I'm gonna re-up on anything, I'll always opt to just get more. I don't know, I run through these fairly quickly, and I don't know if it's because just I'm like way too aggressive. So here we go, Guru. I'm using brush 275.0. Anywho, so there's these two blades which are nice because we're gonna be doing a lot of demo, and then I have the rounded one there because I'm cutting some plumbing. I'm gonna wait for Miss Jade. I'm gonna just try to demo that half, and then when she comes, we can demo just this little tiny piece, but then her and I can demo the toilet together because she's never done demo and she wants to get into like doing bigger projects. So I'm really excited because I never asked for help, and I like threw it out there yesterday and she was like, hey, what time is demo? So anyhow, let's see what we can do while she's not here. I even bought knee pads. I'm like investing in things that don't make my aging body hurt when I do construction. You guys wanna know which ones I'm using? They're the Gel Zone ones. All right, hiya. Okay, so, okay, I'm going to put that there. Now, it really was the saw blade yesterday with not taking out the framing. Again, I'm gonna save a couple pieces for Jade, but we're gonna make our way through a fair big chunk, but it should be a fairly easy process. Again, small chunks to make it manageable. So I like to clean as I go. Jade's not here yet, so I have the opportunity to do so. Framing's good. I don't need to worry about that at all, which is nice. And then Mr. Mike is coming around too to help me lay the subflooring because if you don't know, he did a schoolie renovation, so why not get help from the master when he's offering, like, hey, a free day. I'm learning.
I highly recommend you guys pick some of these demo bags up. I got them at my local Home Depot.
Miss Jade's here. So, if you ever feel uncomfortable, just let go. Sick. I love it. Mm-hmm. So fun. Yeah? Okay, yeah. Look at Jade, go. Look at Jade, go. It's the best thing in the world.
You might be wondering why I am just demoing one section of floor, and that is because I would like to break this down in such tiny sections versus doing all the subflooring at once and then showing a video on it and someone giving me some feedback that I couldn't implement because it was a little too late. So I'm thinking it of this way, as if it's in little chunks like this, I can take the feedback that I'm getting real time and start to implement them immediately into the next episode and show you that as well.
This is going so well.
So well.
This is perfect.
Oh, not even
Perfect. Honestly, demo is so fun.
It's so much better than I told.
I will be the first to admit that I am absolutely notorious for rushing through projects, skipping a step, and not really showing the completed side of things. So I don't want to apologize because I'm so excited breaking this down into such tiny chunks, but I do want to say some of these episodes are going to be so basic to really show you how serious I am taking this, because I do not want to be like the old Rachel. I am definitely stepping back and realizing, like, shame on me, and then just doing it the right way moving forward.
So this is the wax ring, and that's what seals the water from the coming out essentially, and the bolts just hold the toilet in place. Did you touch it?
Yeah, it's gross.
I don't. How much poop and pee is on
I'm
it?
kidding. I would never do that.
I was like, well, okay. So now we just take this out. Hopefully, I'm hoping it's flush so we can just lay new subfloor, and then we'll deal with drilling holes and redirecting later.
Yep, we're gonna do some investigating.
Okay.
I don't know why plumbing forever terrifies me, but it was nice to have someone to deconstruct it with a bit, and it was also disgusting. I'm happy I didn't touch it. Just, Mr. Mike, yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna wash my hands.
Yeah.
I promise.
Okay, you go take your poop off your hands. Oh no, I touched it too.
So, I texted my friend Jess. She's working on her bathroom that's like literally from the inside out with all the worst problems. So her dad is really incredible, and he's helping me through the plumbing. And this is cast iron. Now, cast iron is just super, super old, and some plumbers are scared to work with it. So what we're gonna do is just take the subflooring out and replace around it for now, because I'll rough in some plumbing after we do the framing, and I hear a little bit more from her dad, because her dad's gonna look at the photos since they don't live close, and I'm gonna try to explain it the best way I can, because if I can't move the toilet, that's gonna change the whole layout of the bathroom. It actually might not. It might just keep the toilet here, and then the door might be on that side. I'm not too sure how that will all work, but for now we're gonna leave it and work around it. So that's our next step, is to lay new subfloor. Yeah, Jess said don't move it. She's like, just do subfloor around it, because my dad says cast iron's crazy.
Cool. Okay.
Just don't hit the metal, she said.
Deal.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Okay, so I'm gonna. Why are your hands?
I just washed them. We were touching poop. You need to wash yours.
The reason I am cutting around the tub is because that tub is real heavy, and it is basically like the central point to where all the cast iron pipe fittings meet. And once I discovered the underbelly of the trailer, that is when I realized I am most likely not going to be moving this plumbing, because even trying to tweak one of the joints can tweak the other fittings, and cast iron is so hard to work with, and just not a pain, it's just a labor of love. And truth be told, if it's not broke, I'm not going to fix it. I'm just gonna work the design around it.
Oh, wow.
That's why I wanted to break it out real quick.
So we're just gonna have to knock out what we can knock out, and a tiny bit's gonna be left over.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, we're on the same page now.
After we ripped up all the subfloor, there is actually a protective, like, under shield. It's not the proper term, but it was broken in a bunch of places. The insulation was falling out, and the reason I was saving to demo that absolutely last before we lay the subfloor is because of how windy it was. You'll see as we are demoing it, all the dust and debris kicking up, and if I were to have demoed that, like when Miss Jade came and we were ripping up the floor, that would have been in our faces for another 6 hours. So you also kind of have to break down projects that way too, like if you have to be concerned with the weather with what you're working on. Really enjoy working out this personality trait about asking for help and like sitting down and actually listening, because I am typically a bulldozer. Anywho, Mr. Mike is gracious enough to sit there and just listen to me actually explain something wrong. And then when we were about to do it, he came in and explained how he would go about it, which would not only save more material, but make our lives a lot easier. So thank you, Mr. Mike.
One sheet fits right here, so instead of wasting material, we're gonna throw that one sheet down and then revisit this side. And Mr. Mike is gonna cut that down over here with the jigsaw.
So do you think we should go a little oversized?
Yeah, because I can feel it.
Okay, cool. Nailed it.
Move it in.
Well, Mike cut down the second sheet of subflooring, and before we installed, I just tried to be helpful any which way I can and started sealing up all the seams of the trailer that I could see. We will be cutting out a portion in a little while to frame in a larger window.
Look at how clean that is.
That is actually.
Oh, dang.
So I'm gonna screw that in.
Yes.
Do you want to help me with these cuts? Because I don't have the
This is gonna be fun, yeah. We're more than likely doing the right thing.
Perfect.
All right, moment of truth, here we go.
Alright. First.
Oh!
Dang.
Rachel! This looks
drill it in the
so
middle.
fresh.
Like I was thinking, like I can't believe I thought I was gonna do this all by myself today.
Once the subflooring was in, I secured it here and there, but I didn't go too crazy because I wanted to take a step back and start to take into consideration how much I am going to actually be expanding the bathroom.
Well, people made comments in the previous episode about if anything was structural. I'm assuming just because like there was only one wall here and like a half a wall here, nothing's too crazy structural, but don't quote me. That's why I'm excited to do the framing and put at least this support back up and just make sure I'm doing all the work right prior to like popping it in place and thinking like I know everything when I have the availability to have the help and the knowledge around me. Like take it when I can get it.
I picked up a decent amount of 2x3s, not 2x4s, just to slim the walls up a little bit and not make them as large as traditional walls, but also not make them as thin as the walls that were there previously. I just think they are going to chic up and make the inside of the trailer just feel way more luxurious than having those 1x1 walls. You want to make sure that your studs are 16 inches apart. I am doing mine larger because obviously you can see the opening to the shower is right there.
I feel pretty decent about that. Oh, Jesus. I need to screw that in.
And then I have a few other ideas in mind where I need to actually frame larger openings for future build-ins to this bathroom. Fun.
All right, so now when you walk in, you'll start to see where the wall was before. I'm keeping it the same distance. So I want to keep the doggy door in use because I'm going to make a gated area with a little fake green area if someone stays in here with an animal and it's protected from the coyotes. So I just put the wall back up with the opening to the shower so we have full access. And then if you come over here, I extended it just a little bit more, and that's to cover the pipe because I'm going to close the pipe in more so than it was already because it was already in the little nook. We opened it up to the right, hopefully for the toilet to go over there. If not, that's great. It's more space. And I'll push the sink against this, what will be now a small wall. And if you notice, there's like a little bit of a nook situation because now the sink can sit back within a small corner and not be like a flush corner to the pipe and taking up more real estate. I kind of extended the room to give myself a little bit of a breather right here since there really is no space in here. Like you can use the toilet, you can stand up, you can walk out, and bada bing, bada boom.
I sat there with the depth of the bathroom for a bit until I fully committed and moved forward with the design for the front. And I got this idea to do an arched doorway, and that will require framing that I will do in another episode, but I did start to frame it to the proportions of the door that I would like to weld, actually.
Okay. Preemptively, I made a temporary frame that I'm not tacking into the floor or the ceiling yet because I want to know what's going on with my plumbing. That's something that I want to figure out first. However, it doesn't mean I don't want to have this ready because I can take this frame apart easy and figure out my life if I'm not going to use it. So my idea, because we might not be able to move the toilet, is just cover the toilet a little bit. And when I say a little bit, I'm just covering the bowl of the toilet. But right now, I'm just assuming I can't move anything. And that being said, this is where I am making this wall basically the sink nook, I'm hoping. Right up against here. And then this will be a really beautiful custom-made door that I am going to make myself and weld a little bit. And then everyone having the ideas about the vanity, we'll hit that too, don't worry, but I have a really smart, unique way to go about, hopefully a way to close this off completely, because now that I have this idea for this door build that I want to do here, I'm not trying to make like a swanky fanky little door situation that pops up and folds open. I want the door to be very basic and beautiful with the build that I'm doing to it, so that is why I have framed it like this. There we go. Now I gotta put some 2x3s up into the ceiling.
After my human friends left, my fur family and I took back over. We went in and started securing the framing throughout since I loved the layout, and I just decided to step back and oodle and share this huge step forward because now it's full steam ahead to complete this bathroom. Some people ask why I break things down how I do, or I go about certain things the way that I do, and that's because that is how my mindset works. So what you're seeing here this episode, I feel like typically gets wrapped into like framing, roughing of plumbing, roughing of electrical, and personally, if I was watching a series, that would just be too much for me in one setting, and maybe that sounds a little bit like my brain is basic, but hey, at least I'm admitting that's how I receive content, so that is how I'm putting out this series. And the reason that I say that is because now, for this episode, when you're stepping back and looking at it, you're seeing this blank canvas, and that is how the room looks before you have any plumbing and electrical. And for me, I don't know, it's just a lot more refreshing for my brain to be able to now move forward with the project of design, placing plumbing, because you kind of have to now make all these decisions fairly quickly once you put the plumbing in, once you put the electrical in, because you need to have an idea of what is going to go where, and now this series is just gonna go so quickly. I wanted to give a quick shout out to my 5 Patreons of the week, which are Angela, Nikki, Bella, Samantha, Raina, and an extra one for you, Stephanie. Thank you so much for all your love and support over on Patreon. I'm excited to break down another budget over there for you at this round. I will see you soon for another DIY.